You're watching The Breakdown with the fight analyst, Garrett Kerman.
And welcome back to another episode of The Breakdown. I'm your host, the fight analyst, Garrett Kerman. And with me, as always, is my man, the MMA professor himself, Colin Crandal. What's up, man? How's it going?
Crazy scenario, man. I had a friend had a last-second emergency, but we're able to take a break here and knock out an excellent breakdown, and look forward to it as always, brother.
Absolutely. And we actually have a special guest joining us. He's actually in the green room right now. Would you like to announce our guest of hand here?
Absolutely. So excited to have this guest on the show. This is a man who trained with Khabib, trained with Islam, was one of the original guys there at the super highly respected gym, aka basically this man was kind of like the Khabib and the Islam of the last generation. So happy to have on the show Mr. Jon Fitch.
How's it going, guys?
Great. How about yourself, brother?
Going good.
Well, now I couldn't really hear what you were saying. Garrett, could you hear him?
No, it's actually cutting off a little bit.
All right, sorry.
Can you try again, John?
How's that? Sometimes
Better.
my cord gets messed up and it gets fuzzy. I got to redo my audio. But no, I'm doing really good. I was in Florida last week enjoying the sun. So
excellent.
I'm doing really good. Ultra relaxed.
Yeah. Nice. Garrett lives in Florida. I like to say that he's the only guy that swims in the Everglades every week, although he doesn't really, but
Not at all.
Now, people would probably believe it more that Jon Fitch would be the guy that would be brave enough to swim in the Everglades, but I guess it's probably a little bit too dangerous even for you, huh, John?
I don't know, man. I've never wrestled an alligator. Wrestled some gorillas. I haven't wrestled an alligator. But I can imagine myself out there living in Tampa and having a boat, being on the boat. I can see it.
Absolutely, man. So we are excited, man. We have a really interesting card tomorrow. It was supposed to be Islam Makhachev or Makhachev, whichever way that he wants it pronounced, against Beneil Dariush. That was a really, really exciting matchup. I think a lot of people were excited to see that. Let's not spend too much time on that, but just maybe a minute. John,
it would have been a huge test. It's exactly what Islam needed. These guys don't fight him. He's got the same problem that I had back in the day, and nobody wants to fight him. None of the older guys want to fight him. A lot of the younger guys don't want to fight him, and if he can't get those big fights, people are just going to overlook him because he's beating guys. He's beating guys that he's supposed to.
Absolutely. So when the opponent change happened, I think about 8 or 9 days ago, and they grabbed Bobby Green, and this was it'll only be a 2-week turnaround. Great, where someone's backing their car up right near where I am. Let me see if I can roll the window. It's like Murphy's Law, right? If something can't go wrong, it will. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. So with a short notice, first off, let me ask you, Bobby Green is 35. When you were 35 years old, if you fought and then 2 weeks later you were going to fight again, would that have given you enough time, providing that the weight was going to be a reasonable weight? Would that have given you enough time to heal up, or do you think that could be a problem, or is that a good situation?
Yeah, I think that's fine. He didn't take damage his last fight, so he's not healing from anything. And a lot of times when you're older, it's easier to keep going than it is to stop and then start going again.
Makes sense.
So being able to just roll over into another fight a couple weeks later, it sounds kind of nice. As I got older, I kept wishing for the three fight tournaments to come back. That I could do one training camp and fight 3 times.
Makes sense. The quicker turnaround definitely is better. So obviously an opponent change with such short notice is not ideal for Islam, nor is fighting Islam Makhachev.
That guy, Islam is a machine, though. That guy's a machine. He's a Terminator. So I don't think opponent change. I don't think that's much of a hiccup at all for him. He's still gonna roll through and do his thing.
Okay, so let's look at Bobby Green. You actually fought on the first UFC card that Bobby Green fought on. Interestingly enough, that was your last UFC card and Bobby Green's first. Did you take any notice of him on that card? Did you run into him?
I was not aware. I was not aware of him fighting on that card. Yeah.
Have you seen him fight at all over the years?
Yes, a few times. He's tough, scrappy. but I think I don't think he's going to have enough horsepower for Islam.
Is the would it matter if Bobby was given a full camp? Do you think, or not, or if Islam was given a full camp? Same thing.
No, because it's a catch weight. Islam has given up a little bit of weight, but I still don't think that Bobby Green's going to have the positional strength to handle or deal with Islam. And I don't know if he has enough power. He's not a big power puncher, so I don't think he has many tools to deal with Islam.
Gotcha. And we're gonna let Garrett come in and give his thoughts in a minute. But let me ask you one last thought, John, and then we'll have Garrett ask you whatever's on his mind. So Bobby Green is a guy who a lot of his losses have been really close. I don't know if you followed him that closely to see that, but it seems to me like he was a victim of the philosophy that judges look at a fight, I think, and they shouldn't, but they look at a fight sometimes looking to see who the A side is and who is not the A side. And I think he got a couple losses tagged on him early, and then that kind of put him in a position to always have a worse record than the guy he was fighting. And I've seen it in boxing for years, and I think to an extent in MMA, that I think almost that the judges almost look at themselves to be in positions of helping the promotion a little bit. And they think, okay, this guy's got 8 losses, 6 losses. The other guy's got 1 loss. And it seems like when it comes down to it, the judges are happy to tag another loss on Bobby Green when a lot of times that's not deserved. And so the bottom line is, because of that, he was never 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot or a number 1 contender shot. He was never just 1 or 2 fights away from a guy in Islam's position. He was always like 4 or 5 fights away and never getting there. All of a sudden, he gets this shot. This is almost like a Rocky story, like the original Rocky. I mean, no one thought that Bobby Green would be fighting a guy in the top 5, probably ever, the way his luck was going. How much can an opportunity like that motivate a guy like Bobby, 35-year-old veteran who is really good?
Rocky had a full camp.
There you go. That's true. That is true. But
Rocky had a full camp.
That is true.
Bobby Green is not. No, yeah, Bobby's career, I think there's not enough credentials around or criteria around scoring. It should be easy. It should be much easier to score about. It should be way less wiggle room for getting it wrong. I think most other sports have pretty definite rule sets that are pretty easy to follow around scoring and how to win. And you should be able to take somebody off the street who's never seen a fight before, and they should be able to read the criteria, and they should pick the winner 9 times out of 10, I think. But until we figure out a way to do that, we're always going to have issues with the scoring. And the judges at the end of the day, they're not artificial intelligence. They're fighters, and they're usually fans. They're usually really big fans of the sport. And human beings and fans, they get swept away with emotions just like everybody else. So when they're sitting cage side, when they've been hearing the press all week long or all month long or whatever, it's usually pushing towards one person, and that's usually who the promoter likes. Yeah. So you can see them lean in that direction, and if the crowd is leaning in that direction also, and you're hearing the oohs and ahs behind every action that one guy does and not the other, even though the other guy's doing more, you see a little lean towards that guy.
Makes sense. Let me let Garrett ask you a couple questions, and if he asks the last one that I have, then we're good. If he doesn't, I'll come back and ask the last one. But Garrett, why don't you ask John a couple things, and then if we get him all covered, then in the next 5 minutes we'll get an overall thought about how John feels it's going to play out.
All right. As far as this matchup goes, if Islam gets the job done, do you think he automatically is deserving of the next title shot after Oliveira fights Justin Gaethje? Or does he have to be dominant in this win in order to be able to, get the title shot? Or does he just have to win?
He's gonna be dominant. He's just one of those guys who's gonna crush everybody until he's champ. But I can see him not getting the nod to fight for the championship for a while because he hasn't fought the name power. Right. Khabib was a slow climb to the title shot, but he had more name power with the guys he was fighting.
That's true. Yeah.
So he may, this will get him a fight. He still needs to fight a Derry Roosh, he still needs to fight that next level up. And until he fights that next level up, he's not going to get the title shot. So he's got to win this fight, crush Bobby Green, and then he's got to do the same thing for his next fight against a named caliber top 5 fighter.
Right. And it just I wonder, where does he go from here? You have Gaethje, he's fighting Oliveira. It's like, after this fight, Darius is going to be on the shelf. He's talking about rehab, but we all know he's probably going to need some type of surgery to really fully heal. So we don't know where he's going to go from here, who he fights next. There's interviews
Poirier, McGregor.
Yeah, that's the thing. McGregor was just talking while he was at Bellator, or just a few hours ago, talking about he's getting to start sparring in April, and he maybe wants to get back in there. Maybe international fight work sometime in the summer. Do you think that would be the next level for Islam to really show his dominance, to show that he should be the number one contender? Maybe is a Conor McGregor the next step up for him?
I don't know if Conor's not going to take that fight.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Conor's not going to take that fight. He's not going to take that fight because he's going to get smashed badly. And he, Islam's not the name pull that Khabib was. So it's a harder time selling that fight. I think you have a better chance of getting him to fight Diaz in a third fight.
Yeah. No, I mean, that makes more sense. I think that would be a better fight
overall. It sells more tickets, more people watch, I think.
Right. So logically, looking at the top 5, who do you think is, a adversary opponent that really can show that he should deserve to be, other than Dariush, obviously, he deserves the next title shot?
Poirier, maybe. What do you think, John?
Poirier, yeah, I was kind of thinking that. It's like, he's out there, he's had his time at the top. He's had some losses. Like that might be something that could be done,
Or maybe Chandler, if Chandler makes easy work out of Ferguson.
Or Ferguson himself. I mean, I don't know. That has a sell to it. They couldn't get the Khabib Ferguson fight.
That's true.
So those are all guys. Poirier, Ferguson, Chandler, possibly, are all floating around there as possibilities.
Okay. Let me ask John one last thing, Garrett, if you don't mind. Then we're going to.
No, yeah, of course.
John, thanks. One of the things I've been hearing a lot about, John, is a lot of people, when they think of defensive wrestling, or they think of a guy who's the inferior wrestler, they're thinking, can a guy put everything into the sprawl and stop the takedown? But sometimes what people don't think enough about is what you call the person's get-up game. If they don't stop the takedown, how good a scrambler are they to get up? Bobby Green is known to be that kind of a guy, that he's got some wrestling. He scrambles. He's not going to try to throw up triangles or arm bars or even, play jujitsu on the ground at all. His whole thing is take me down, I'm popping right back up. Has Islam fought some guys that do that? I mean, could that be a factor? Could that be a surprise to Islam? And is that something that you as a wrestler would find sometimes challenging when you had a guy who was really good at get-ups?
One of the things that we've kind of developed and we worked a lot on in the last 10 years at AKA was our top game isn't necessarily pinning. We're not trying to pin you to the mat. We're trying to be heavy, use heavy pressure, and help let leverage and gravity help keep you on the mat, help make you fight hard to get up. It's why Khabib is able to, smash a guy, wear him out, and beat him up at the same time. Okay, so Islam is trained and knows how to maintain that pressure on guys. So even though guys are getting up, you're going to be able to wear them down, because after they get up, you put them back down on the ground. They get up near the fence, you put them back down on the ground. You keep putting them in that corner, keep beating them up. After a while, they stop getting up.
Makes sense. So your overall thought, John, if you have a couple of ways that you think this fight can play out, that would be great. If you think it's going to play out one way, it is a 5-round fight. I don't think either men have a lot of experience with 5 rounds. That's stated. Bobby Green usually is the guy that's coming on strong in the 3rd round. He's almost like a guy that a lot of people say had he been scheduled for 5-round fights, his record would be a lot better, because it would have been no question who is going to win. But what's your thought on a 5-round fight? What are a couple different ways you see this one playing out, and what would the endings be?
I think Islam's too much. He's going to overwhelm him. I think 3rd round. I think he's going to find a way. He's going to find a way to a submission.
And that's you don't see any. What would be an alternate second choice method if somehow it didn't go that way?
I mean, Islam's stand-up game is a lot better than people know. I think he could surprise some people with some good shots here and there, and working his way in to the takedown. But yeah, I think he's gonna work his way inside, clinch him up, foot sweep, put him on the ground, beat the crap out of him until he wears him out, and then submission.
Makes sense. Any chance that Bobby Green will be shooting for takedowns?
I don't know. Has he ever?
Not often. And you would think
maybe. I mean, going for broke, trying to win, but that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, Islam he's a beast, but he's really slick too. Khabib's gonna shove the takedown down your throat. Islam is gonna foot sweep you or do something tricky and take you down with less effort. And then, he's capable of submitting you from his back. He's slick enough too.
Gotcha. So I talked with Javier Mendez a few weeks ago, and some people were trying to point out that Islam isn't Khabib and that the skill disparity is wide. And Javier, of course, as the coach, said that's not the case. The skill disparity is not wide at all.
The different styles. Yeah, they just fight differently. Like, Khabib is a bear. He's going to just shove his will down your throat, and he's going to, beat you up and then eventually submit you when you make a mistake. Islam is slick. He's gonna make you miss. He's gonna hit you with a 3 or 4 piece rather than just a straight 1-2 to a clinch. His footwork's a little bit better, and he's way more fluid on the ground, where Khabib is powerful and he's gonna force his way through certain positions. Islam is slick.
Okay, so definitely Islam. Bobby Green, the fact that Islam got caught really was kind of a fluke. I think it was his first UFC fight or second, and you feel there isn't really, people shouldn't make a lot out of that, like he's vulnerable or has a weak chin, right?
No, I don't know. He seems like he's got his mind in the right place, and he's not as tentative with his movement.
Makes sense. Do you feel the odds of about 6-1 are valid, or do you think it should be even bigger odds or closer odds?
I mean, I don't know how to set the betting odds, but I think strong favorability towards Islam finishing.
Gotcha. I would think Islam wins as well. I think at 6-1, if people want to try to bet, the only way it seems like people can make money in MMA is occasionally hitting a dog. So I'm not advising people to go bet necessarily on Bobby Green, but if you want to bet like a half a unit or a quarter of what you normally bet, I'm saying it couldn't hurt. I know
you're kind of just throwing it, in the toilet and just flushing it down. I mean,
right. And I don't expect John to agree on that. But Garrett Kerman, overall, your thought on Bobby Green's chances and how this fight plays out?
I mean, I like Bobby Green. I'm a fan of his, but it's hard to really give him much of a chance here. I mean, John said it best. I mean, this is an uphill battle. I mean, even on a full camp, this is hard, let alone on 10 days' notice. I just don't see it being well. Makhachev, Islam's talking about finishing in round 1. I can arguably see that happening. We see what he did against Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker, I think, is just a little bit better than Bobby Green is right now, and he absolutely dismantled him. I feel like it's more of the same. Islam says he's going to get it in round 1. I really do believe it.
Gotcha. Now, the over and under, I guess there's several different over-unders, but the most one that has the biggest one that has value is, will the fight go over or under 2.5 rounds? That means, will it complete 2 full rounds and get halfway through the third? And John, you're feeling that might be right where the sweet spot is, so you don't really have a preference one way or the other, or if
it could be 30 seconds over or 30 seconds under.
Right. If you had to go over or under, though, 2.5 rounds, meaning halfway through the third, would you go over or under? Under. Okay. Garrett Kerman's the same way. And I may be against you guys on that one. I almost feel like Islam may want to have a little bit feeling out, and this is kind of going to be a first 5-round fight, I think, or, although probably won't go that far. I could be wrong. I think it's tough. It could go either way, but I don't know. I get a feeling almost like Bobby's going to hang in there, although I know Islam making a statement here would be very important, but we will see. Now, John, I know that's the key thing that you were interested in, having been a training partner of Islam and Khabib and the guys over at AKA, and I'm so glad that we have you here to talk about this, because I think no one really knows as much about those guys, Islam, Khabib, and the Dagestani guys, other than themselves. And with you having been there, you know more about them than other Dagestani guys.
They're all very tough fighters. They all train really hard, but there are nuances that make their styles different. Some guys better straight wrestling, better straight freestyle wrestling. Some guys have a lot of the judo trips and throws because of the combat sambo. So there's a lot of differences in the way the guys fight.
Makes sense. Now, forgive me about the lighting. I'm actually in a moving truck here, and I can't turn any light on, so I look like a jackass here, but it is what it is. John, can you clarify which Nurmagomedov is his brother? Is it Umar or Saeed, or who's his cousin and who's his brother? Do you know?
No, it's I think Umar.
Usman, I think is his brother.
No, no.
I think Usman's his cousin.
Yeah, Usman's a cousin.
Yeah.
And then Umar might be his brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's a couple Nurmagomedovs not even related to him, but these guys are tough guys. Yeah. All right. John, did you have any interest in any co-main event or co-main event or any of the undercard here at all?
It's a very lackluster card. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Because I've been on vacation. I haven't even, other than knowing that Islam was going to fight, I haven't paid much else attention.
Totally. And there really isn't a lot of people that are really high profile on the rest of the card. I mean, Misha Serkinov, a light heavyweight who looked really good a while back and has now dropped down, or, is against Wellington Turman, but I wouldn't know if you'd know Turman that well. And so, I
just had one question.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
In regards to Islam, because he was jawing at Bobby Green. We normally don't see Islam so, outspoken. He's normally one of the more soft-spoken, guys out of AKA. Does he normally talk trash like he does, in training?
No, that's new. He might have had to have some coaching or something, maybe. He's a very quiet, reserved person and gets after it. Terrence McKinney. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight. T-Rex, I've interviewed him about a month and a half ago. He's got a good fight. Another fight, John, for you to look at with a couple of really tough guys is a Russian-Armenian guy, Arman Tsarukyan, Tsur.
Yes, very good fight.
He's going up against a guy, Joel Alvarez, who is very, very tough. Both of these guys are young. I think Sarukyan's like 28 and Alvarez is like 25 or 26. Really, really tough guys. As you might remember, Sarukyan did pretty darn well against Islam about 2-3 years ago, and Sarukyan was only 23 and Islam was like 27, 28. And so I think this kid you know what though, speaking about that, I heard some guy mention on a different broadcast that Sarukyan seems to get 2 warnings in every fight of his. They're either saying let go of the gloves, or let go of the shorts, or let go of the fence. And I heard one guy say, well, but you know what? You got to say, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And so I don't really. Mike
Kyle used to say, they'll warn you once.
Right. Exactly. But does that necessarily mean that the guy's a dirty fighter, or can things just randomly happen when you're scrambling?
Protect yourself at all times. You got to be aware of whatever. But yeah, he's playing within the rules. Like, you're allowed a warning.
That makes sense.
Sure.
But that's going to be a really, really good fight. Look for that one. And there's there's Arman and Armen on the card. Armen Petrosian's a tough guy, but Arman Tsarukyan, look for him against Joel Alvarez. Garrett, did you have any last questions for John?
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I definitely want you back on here again, and I appreciate your coming on and talk some fights with us.
Yeah, man. Thanks. No problem.
Thank you, John. I really appreciate you too, man. We've had some good chats in the past, and always appreciate you, man. You're one of the coolest guys in MMA and a legend. And let people know where they can find your content, man. You put out such cool content.
Yeah, well, jonfitch.net is my website. You can check that out. I got everything there. But a big thing I would like to announce is I'm working on a new project with Lux MMA, and we are working to brand and market amateur fighters. And we're trying to give them more opportunities to be able to make more money as an amateur. But yeah, there'll be more to come with that. And
wow, that's great.
Where can people find that Lux MMA?
LuxMMA.com.
Lux, and is Lux just LUX or LUXE?
LUX, yep.
Awesome. So look into that, man, because John's one of the good guys in MMA. And I know you guys still have the big class action suit going, you and Kung Lee and Mike Swick, Nate Quarry. And that's still looking in positive and encouraging, isn't it?
Yeah, we're still waiting to hear about class certification from the judge. But, we have, because of the lawsuit that we filed, 7 or so years ago, we've pushed some changes. They've had to make a few changes. The UFC's business model has had to change a little bit because they're trying to avoid getting sued again for doing the same things. So that's one of the reasons why we have the situation with Francis Ngannou right now, because they started putting in 2017, they started putting a grandfather clause or a sunset clause into the contracts. Before, when you signed the promotional agreement, you were under contract until they decided you weren't under contract anymore. So you could never leave. Now they have a 5-year sunset clause on the contract. So after 5 years of your contract, if you haven't fought out all of your fights, you become a free agent. And that's what Ngannou just did. So fighters actually have a little tiny piece of leverage right now. It's not much, but it's all they got. So if you're an up-and-comer and you can time your contract just right, sign with them, and you got 5 years to put yourself in a money position, you can use that leverage to get paid your worth.
Cool. Wow. I like to hear that because we're
That's
always
great.
100% pro fighters, Garrett and I, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's zero reason why MMA fighters are not getting at least 50% of the profits. Doesn't make any sense.
I agree 100%. Well, I definitely.
And anybody arguing, I want to see fighters make more money, but they don't have a solution. Well, there's your solution.
Yeah, makes sense.
50% of all the revenue goes to the fighters.
I like it.
Love it.
That's how it is, because you guys are leaving your blood, sweat, and tears there, and as you know, it's hard on the brain. It's a dangerous
equal
sport.
Partnership. We should make equal money.
Agree 100%. Jon Fitch, I appreciate you so much, man. It's great talking to you, and yeah, definitely, I'll hit you up. And I know you're busy, but yeah, sometime down the line before another big fight, I'd love to have you back and talk again.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Appreciate you.
Too. Thank you.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
See you. And that was Jon Fitch and Garrett Kerman. So I still have some battery, probably maybe for a half hour. It seems like, and I'm going to be in the dark a little bit, but let's try to whip some of this stuff.
Let's start it off. We're gonna go down from. Actually, let's start top to bottom. Okay. Since we started at the top, we'll work our way down because those are the best fights on this card. So let's start off. Let's start off with our main event. Okay. Well, main event, we got Islam Makhachev taking on Bobby Green. Bobby Green's taking his fight on 10 days notice, just fighting at UFC 271 against Nasrat Haqparast via unanimous decision victory. Very good fight there. He's coming into this fight taking in entrepreneurs. Beneil Dariush, he got injured. He's going to be out for a minute. So Bobby Green is saving the day. I'm excited for this fight. Bobby Green's a savage. Islam is an absolute wrecking ball. Who do you got right now? Islam is a massive -900 favorite, and the comeback on Bobby Green's +600. Who do you got?
I think there's value on Bobby Green. I'm not going to tell people to bet money except maybe $10 or 20, a quarter of a unit, a third of a unit, maybe. Is what I think could be a smart thing to do. There's always a chance. He's such a slick veteran. It would be such a rocky story. It would be a feel-good story. It would be great to see the 35-year-old veteran beat the 30-year-old who's on the title hot on the trail of the title and have the 35-year-old, journeyman, so to speak, come and catch him. More than likely, it's not going to happen, but I do think Bobby's going to have his moments. There's no money to be made on Islam. You're asking me who wins. It's probably Islam, but I do think there may be a couple of moments. And could Bobby win? Would I be 100% shocked and stunned? I wouldn't be, but I would be screaming. It would be an upset. I'd be screaming, and I'd be happy. Nothing against Islam. Love AKA Jon Fitch, and those guys are true, absolute warriors and studs, but everyone loves an underdog story. So there's a shot. More than likely it doesn't happen, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is an extreme uphill battle for Bobby Green. I mean, this is an uphill battle for anybody, even on 3-4 months notice. Literally, when somebody is taking on 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks notice.
Yes.
Bobby Green. This is fighting arguably the number 1 contender. Going from Nasrat Haqparast to Islam Makhachev is ridiculous. I mean,
big jump.
The levels are like insanity right there. But the thing is, Bobby Green is an absolute savage. He doesn't care who he's fighting against. He's going to go in there. He's going to do his best. He's going to throw down. He's going to make it a dogfight. And that's what I'm looking forward to, because he's going to be arguably the only one that's really brought the fight to Islam. Everybody's running away from him. You know, Bobby Green's like, all right, let's go. We're gonna meet in the center, and he's gonna let's throw down. Arguably, I don't think that's the best approach going into this fight against Islam, because once he gets around you, you're not staying on your feet. You're going down. I mean,
right.
And he knows going in that he's looking for the first round finish. So even if he gets close, like, Bobby Green's got to be on his heels. He has to be on his heels, because the moment that he's in the pocket, he's going to be able to clinch up and just get a little foot sweep, take him to the ground. And that's all she wrote, honestly. I think he finishes him in round 1. I think it's going to look similar to Dan Hooker. I think he gets to finish in round 1. And for him to win in round 1 is plus 225. I know people want Bobby Green to last. They want Bobby Green to go, deep into this fight. But I just don't see it happening. Honestly, I really don't see it happening. Unfortunately, I think Islam just makes it look easy work, and it gets the job done against Bobby Green in round 1. Hopefully I'm wrong. Because I really do want a good fight. I want Bobby Green to show his worth, show that he should be fighting guys in the top 5. But unfortunately, I think he goes in there and gets steamrolled by Islam.
We'll see. That would be no feeling out in a 5-round fight, but it's possible. If Islam really wants to make a great impression, he'll do that and would not be shocked. Anyway,
I think he gets the job done. But anyways, moving on. Next up, we got a fight in the co-main event between Misha Cirkunov and Wellington Turman. Right now, Cirkunov is a minus 130 favorite in the comeback on Wellington Turman is a plus 110 underdog. Who do you got?
Yeah, at one point it looked like Turman may have been the favorite in that fight. I don't know why, or maybe I was looking at some odds that were just in the middle of refreshing or something. I don't know. But I really like Misha Cirkunov. First of all, they shouldn't be the co-main event. I mean, big respect to them, but it would like if all of a sudden they made.
I mean, if you look down up and down the card, I mean,
I know, but there's a couple that I'll mention that could be But anyway, you're right. As far as experience, Cirkunov,
I think that's the reason why is because of Cirkunov's experience.
Yeah, I think Cirkunov is too big and too experienced. Turman, you and me both were low key impressed with Turman. Well, higher key impressed, and then lower and lower key impressed, and then not impressed at all. The lowest key impressed. I just think that Cirkunov is going to win this fight, and he should win it impressively, but he might not. I like Cirkunov, though. I think he's a solid bet.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think Misha Cirkunov, he makes he makes Wellington Turman look like a welterweight.
Yeah.
I mean, he's absolutely massive. I saw the size difference. It's just going to be insane. You look at Wellington Turman. He went against somebody like Bruno Silva, who's an absolute powerhouse on the feet, and he reversed back position, got on top, and absolutely took Wellington Turman to the fucking shadow realm. So if you're not able to hold position against somebody like Bruno Silva, who is not great on the mat, and let him reverse you and just knock you out while you're laying on your back, I think, Serkinov's got this all day. I mean, Wellington Turman's not the world beater on the feet. He had a close fight against Sam Alvey that could have gone either way.
No problem.
And now he's going against Misha Serkinov, who I think has him beat on the feet as well as have him beat on the mat. So minus 130, you got experience advantage, you got size advantage, and yeah, I got to go with him here, minus 130.
Gotcha. Sorry about that. We'll have the beeping stopped in a second.
No worries. All right, moving on. We got a fight in the women's flyweight division between Ji Yeon Kim and Priscilla Cachoeira. Right now, Kim is a minus 160 favorite, and come out on Cachoeira is a plus 140 underdog. Who do you got?
Gotcha. Well, I'm low-key impressed with Ji Yeon Kim, and I'm less impressed than that with Cachoeira.
I just want to say one thing. We have Ryan here saying that Turman is training at a really good gym. That is correct. He is training at a really good gym. He's training under Glover Teixeira in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. Just to let you know, he is training for Wellington.
I've been hearing about that. He kind of inherited Glover's chin for his last fight, but I don't know. You and me could be training with Glover Teixeira, and we're still not going to be able to fight with the UFC. At least I'm not. You might be able to. You're younger.
I don't know about me. I think we're both shit out of luck when it comes to fighting in the UFC.
Yep, I think you might be right. So I think the Terminator, as I like to call him, is going to be terminated because I think Serkinov's not too happy with his debut at middleweight.
Also, plus a massive drop off from Krzysztof Jocko to Wellington Turman as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think Serkinov is going to terminate the Terminator. I think possibly a first or second round sub for Serkinov.
Yeah, I like it. All right. So your thoughts on Kim and Cachoeira?
I don't really have a lot of thoughts. I don't want to. I probably only have 20 minutes of battery left, maybe.
Right. We can get through the ones that you really don't need.
I'm going to say not really any strong opinion there. I lean Kim. I really do lean Kim, but I wouldn't bet any money on it. I don't know. I just think that, I don't think either woman is going to be threatening for a title anytime soon or threatening the top five. I could be wrong, though. I think Kim's got more potential, though. Her ceiling's higher. I'd pick Kim at force, but I wouldn't advise anyone bet on it. I know I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not too big on this fight either. Cachoeira definitely has the power advantage. I just think Kim is more technically savvy on the feet. She definitely throws much more volume. As long as she just stays out of the power of Cachoeira and doesn't get caught, she should run away with this on those judges' scorecards just by being more active and throwing and landing more volume.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. We got a fight in the middleweight division between Armin Petrosyan and Gregory Robocop Rodriguez. Right now, Rodriguez is a minus 155 favorite, and come back on Petrosyan as a plus 135 underdog. Who do you got?
Rodriguez is a tough guy. A lot of the Hispanic fighters just have that great fighting spirit, whether they're Mexican, South American, Puerto Rican, Dominican. It's just got fighting in their blood. But Armenian fighters are really becoming a thing in the last 10 years. And in MMA, they're just tough, rugged, tough guys and really good guys, too. I live near a lot of Armenian guys, just very gracious, respectful guys, but very tough guys coming from a country where you sometimes you don't even have electricity or water. What did he say?
He's like, Colin, it looked like you're in the middle of a stakeout.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Blood Diamond. I appreciate that. I'm actually in a truck that I'm helping a friend last second move stuff from his dad, and the truck is old, and if I turn the lights on, the battery's going to be dead. And we'll be fucked, and we'll have to tow the truck. So I literally can't turn the lights on. So, but thank you for noticing, Blood Diamond. It doesn't look like a stakeout. Don't let the
Colin Crandal, aka Tim Kennedy, aka Navy SEAL.
That's right. Call me TK After Dark. Anyway, thank you, Blood Diamond. I appreciate that. I know everyone's severely disappointed when they don't see my pretty face. But I guess I have to deprive everyone this time of seeing this old dog's pretty face. Anyway, I know no one's that disappointed, I think. Anyway, so yeah, I think I don't know. That was a tough fight. I think I would bet on the violence in that fight. I can't call that fight. I guess Rodriguez is a slight favorite. Petrosian is tough, but I have no call in that fight. Good fight though, I think.
This is my first underdog on the card. I'm all over Armin Petrosian. He's coming down from light heavyweight to 185. He looks really good on the weigh-ins. He's looked massive. He's arguably one of the biggest opponents for Rodriguez. I think the biggest opponent in the UFC thus far. Rodriguez is massive. I mean, the dude could definitely fight at 205. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. He's very good in his grappling, but he's fell in love with his hands. He's got some really good power. I mean, 3 of his last 4 wins have come by knockout, and he looked really good against Park in his last fight. But the guy is so damn hittable on the feet. He leaves his head straight up on a center line. He doesn't move it, and he gets tagged a ton. Against somebody like Petrosian, he's gonna get tagged, and he's gonna get knocked out. I mean, if Park had more power in his punches, he would have knocked out Rodriguez. I'm talking about. I had a big bet on Rodriguez in that fight. I didn't even think he was gonna do what he did there and just sock and bop him robots over there. It was
sock 'em robots. Yeah,
sorry, rock 'em sock 'em robots. I'm drinking a little bit, but anyways.
It's all
right. But you know what I mean. I mean, he's a jiu-jitsu practitioner, so you want him to go in there, grapple, take it to the floor, and get a submission. Well, this dude is going in there knocking people out. If he does that against Petrosian, it's bad news. But I do expect him to go in there for some takedowns. I do expect him to get, a takedown early or 2. I expect him to get his back, but I don't expect him to sub him. I expect Petrosian to weather the early storm, get out of the first round, and knock out Rodriguez in round 2, because we've seen Rodriguez fade as the fight goes on, especially when he's grappling early. And also, the dude does not have the greatest chin. He got knocked out by Jordan Williams on the Contender Series. And Jordan Williams is a guy that doesn't cut to make 185. He's normally welterweight. So, yeah, I'm taking Petrosian here. I think he gets a knockout, which I think by knockouts plus 200 as well. That's most likely his path to victory here. So, yeah, I got Petrosian plus 135. I got him by knockout, a plus 200. I think we're getting a good line here on the dog. All right, moving on.
I like it too.
Moving on. We got a fight in the lightweight division between Ignacio Bahamondes and Zhu Rong. I think it's Rong Zhu. I don't know. Anyways, Bahamondes is a minus 210 favorite, and on Rong Zhu, the guy who missed the weight by about almost 4 pounds, is a plus 175 underdog. Who do you got?
He was supposed to be the guy that can Zhu no wrong, but instead it looks like all he can do is Zhu is wrong. So Zhu wrong. I don't know. I think that if someone were to come over to him and he was forced to be honest, and they said, Zhu, is it true that you're definitely going to win this fight and I should bet my whole paycheck on you? And his answer would be wrong. So he's even telling us not to bet on him. So I think this is the Bahamondes fight. It's going to be the Bahamondes show, and a 3-1 favorite. There's not a lot of money to be made. Put him in a parlay though. I like him. Lock it up. Put a bow on it. Israel, is it Israel Bahamondes, or what's his first name?
Ignacio
Bahamondes for the win. I agree.
Yeah, I'm going Ignacio Bahamondes. The dude's got some real skill. He really does. His striking has looked incredible, especially against Roosevelt Roberts. He was beating him up for majority of the fight before he landed the devastating spin back heel kick. I think.
Right.
Knockout. It was incredible. Right before the final bell. He lost his UFC debut, but against a really seasoned veteran in Jon Makhachev, so there's no fault there. I know he was much bigger than him, but Makhachev has been in there with some elite competition.
Very experienced guy,
yeah. You're talking about Bahamondes. He was still extremely young, extremely new, and he was only like 23, 24 at that time. Then you got Rong Zhu. I mean, he came in. He didn't look good in his UFC debut. He lost to Kazula Vargas, which is not a really good look because Kazula Vargas, he's only a couple fights into his UFC career. He's not a guy that's super seasoned. And then he finally got into the win column in his last fight. Went the grappling route, very grapple heavy against Mike. I think it was Mike Breeden. No, it was against Brandon Jenkins, and he had to pretty much wrestle him for that fight. And I just don't see him being able to go grapple heavy against Bahamondes here. Ignacio has not been taken down yet in his UFC career. He's super long, super tall for the division. I think his wide base will really help him, keep this fight on the feet, where he has a pretty sizable advantage. And I think he eventually gets it done on the feet. And I don't think he puts him away, but I think he pretty much dominates from bell to bell in the striking realm, defensive takedowns, and gets a unanimous decision victory here over Rong Zhu.
I think you could be right. I'm stepping out here to try to get some light, but now the sound is going to be terrible, so I don't think it's going to be worth it. We'll see. Anyway, what I like about Bahamondes is the name. I think you and me should consider putting Baja in front of our last name. Let me see. You would be Garrett Baja Kerman, and I would be Colin Baja Crandal. Those are pretty good names. Blood Diamond, tell me which of those names are better, or we should actually do that. Anyway.
Yeah, Michael Cook, a.k.a. Blood Diamond, is actually off for the night. I think it's a little late over in Australia, so
that's right.
He's taking the night off, and I appreciate him, joining us for a little bit.
That's it. When you're a South African over there in Australia, like Michael Cook, you gotta watch the partying. I don't know what the hell that means, but anyway, continuing on. We got
all right. Next up,
next up for the win. Yep.
Next up, we got Josiane Nunez taking on Ramona Pascual at 145 pounds. Right now, Nunez is a minus 210 favorite, and the comeback on Pascual is a plus 175 underdog. We don't have to go too long on this. No. Let's keep it short and sweet.
Right. I see what they're doing with this fight. They're trying to get Nunez in the position where she fights against Amanda Nunez for the featherweight title, and it'll be an all Nunez affair. Someone named Nunez will be winning the 145-pound title for sure.
That's true. That's true.
That may be what happens. Yeah, I don't even really know these girls. Josiane is a kind of a cute name, so I pick her. No, I wouldn't advise anyone bet anything.
Yeah, I when you find okay, I'm not even gonna go there. Let's keep it moving. As far as this fight goes, I think Nunez gets it done. I think she's somebody that should be able to she's gonna be able to march forward, put the pace, put the pressure on Pascual, and eventually, either knock her out or just win unanimous decision. It's not a fight I want to bet on a minus 210 on Nunez, who's yes, she's fought better competition than Pascual, but I mean, they're both not battle tested. So I'm taking Nunez to win this fight. All right.
I think if you have another daughter, you should name her Pascual Kerman. Is that a good name or what?
I'm gonna go with no.
It's fun. It's a funny name that we know.
I don't think I'm not gonna name my next daughter Pascual. But anyways, let's keep it moving.
She would want to kill you if you did.
I think so. I think she'll take her middle name, whatever that is.
There we go. I agree. All right. Anyway, continue on.
All right, moving on. Our next fight is in the lightweight division. Actually, I'm missing a fight here because it's not on my card. Let's start with that because I'm missing a fight on the main card. It's a fight between Arman Tsarukyan and Joel Alvarez.
Yeah.
Because it's not on my list here. Sorry, guys.
For some reason, they're not. That's off the list.
It's not off the list,
which makes me kind of nervous.
No, this fight's still going on. Don't worry, everybody. We're gonna break it down for you. Thank God I remembered. I don't know how I remembered. I'm drinking beer. There's no reason why I would remember, but I remembered.
Well, maybe because
I remembered. Because it's a lightweight. It's arguably the fight of the night. This is an amazing fight.
Right. This should be the co-main.
This should be the co-main because Arman Tsarukyan is a stud, and so is Joel Alvarez. I can't wait for this fight. Yeah. All right. Right now, lightweight division, Arman Tsarukyan, Joel Alvarez. Right now, Tsarukyan's a minus 235 favorite to come back on. Joel Alvarez is a plus 190 underdog. Who do you got?
This is for sure. You bet on violence. This is going to be.
Yes.
This is a very important fight.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a great fight. This is a fight that I think contenders don't like as much because someone's record is going to be kind of ruined a little bit with the loss here. But the fans love it. It's a fan-friendly fight. They may have wished that they would have been allowed to win a couple more fights in their career before fighting each other because they're both still really young. I think Sarukian is like 20, 25, 26. And I think Alvarez is like 24, 25, 20, sort of similar age. But nevertheless, it's happening now. Really, really tough guys. I know that in the last fight with Alvarez, you had Thiago Moises, who did pretty darn well against the main event tomorrow night fighter Islam Makhachev. And in the Alvarez fight, a lot of us were like, wow, if this guy Moises did so well against Islam, then this kid Joe Alvarez is not going to beat him, or is he? And we found out, yes, he is. However, I do think that Arman Sarukian is a better fighter and a more mature fighter than Moises, although they're both very young. I think Sarukian maybe a couple years older. Don't love the fact that Sarukian's getting 2 warnings every fight pretty much. Not saying he's a cheater. I don't think he is, but I guess he's doing everything he can to win. He's a very strong guy. Alvarez did not miss weight this time, right?
No, he did not.
Okay, because he did miss weight two fights in a row.
Yeah, he got his weight in check. It was impressive.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So this is going to be a barn burner. A lot of MMA pundits are saying that the play to make here is the dog because of the fact that this should be a closer fight. The odds makers are not giving Alvarez proper respect and credit, and to play the dog because of value. And I understand that in fights like this, you almost as a smart gambler want to take the dog because there's not much money to be made on the favorite. But I like Arman Sarukian. I really do. I really feel that smart gambler. Well, I don't know how smart you are if you're going to bet on the wrong guy, but value is on the dog because could Alvarez win? He absolutely could. I don't think so, though. I think that this is the fight, Arman Sarukian's fight, and he may even smash Alvarez, although they're both probably going to have their moments. This is going to be a fun fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, but I think the odds makers have this right. I think Arman Sarukian is that good.
I agree with you 110%. I understand everybody, taking Joel Alvarez, especially as a plus 200 underdog or better. I understand because there is value there. You have a guy that's a finisher. He's finished all 19 of his wins. 16 by submission, 3 by knockout, and he's looked insanely impressive in his last fight against Thiago Moises, where I doubted him. And he looked the best he's ever looked. I mean, he's progressed every single fight, and he's finished almost, all of his wins. He's finished every single one of them. So I understand the love he's getting, especially at such a big dog price. But Arman Sarukian is another level. This dude can take a punch, and he's the far better grappler by a good country mile. It's not even remotely close. You're talking about Joel Alvarez that has not defended one takedown in his entire career. We're talking 0%. He's not defended one takedown because of the fact that he loves his guillotine choke so much that he's willing to let you take him down so that he can try to sink in that guillotine choke.
Yeah.
It's worked against lesser known fighters, against guys that are willing to leave their neck out there. Arman Sarukian is not one of them. He's going to be ready for that. He knows that he's the better grappler. And I feel like if Joel Alvarez is going to win this fight, he's got to come forward. He's got to put the pace. He's got to put the pressure. And he's got to knock out Arman Sarukian. If he does not, early on, he's going to get dragged to the mat. He's going to wilter, and he's going to fade as the fight goes on. If he doesn't get finished in the round 1 and he's grappling with Arman Sarukian, he's going to fade as the fight goes on, and eventually he's going to get finished in rounds 2 or 3. I like Sarukian. He's talking about I'm going to get a choke. I'm going to finish him in round 2. I'm going to submit him. I love that. Why do I love that? Because of submission. Arman Tsarukyan to win by submission is plus 800. Plus
Man, what the hell?
800.
That's kind of crazy. I guess they think of him as more of a ground and pounder, but still, he
Right. I mean, I understand because Joel Everest, if I'm not mistaken, he's not been submitted in his career. No, he's not been submitted. He's either been knocked out or, a decision loss. And I get it. But it's not like he's fought elite grapplers in his time. It's not like he's fought elite jiu-jitsu practitioners. And he's not an elite jiu-jitsu practitioner himself. He's just fighting guys that he knows that he could submit via the guillotine. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a good jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got numerous wins by submission, 16 to be exact. I just think Arman Tsarukyan is just a little bit better. I think he's going to soften him up on the mat and just beat him up a little bit and eventually take his back and stick in the rear naked choke and get it done. And getting him to win by submission at plus 800 is insane value.
Yeah.
Just $10 to win $80. I think it's worth a little bit of a shot there.
Without a doubt, I would agree. Now, would you agree that if somehow Tsarukyan lost and Bobby Green upset Makhachev, you would name your next kid Pasquale, whether it was a boy or a girl?
No.
You wouldn't agree to that?
No, I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Okay, well, I was thinking that it'd be such
because
an upset.
There's two people to this naming of children.
That's true.
Here.
Well, your wife might go for it. What do you think?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go. She definitely would not.
Pasquale Kerman. I don't know. Anyway,
all right. Let's keep it moving. Moving. Okay, let's talk about the lightweight matchup between Fares Ziam and Terrence McKinney. Right now, Ziam is a minus 115 favorite in the comeback. McKinney's a minus 105 underdog. Who do you got?
T-Rex is cool, man. Interviewed him a couple of months ago. He has not wanted this fighting, this layoff as long as it's going on. After his win, I think it's been 2 or 3 times that they've scheduled him to fight, and each time either his opponent or he's got hurt. But he has not wanted to have this much off time, and it's just happened that way. It's unfortunate. Fares Ziam is very tough as well. This is a really, really good fight. It's so hard. I'm cheering for McKinney because he's just a really cool dude. I really like him. I think he's got the higher ceiling. I would bet McKinney, but I would bet like a half a unit. Ziam is tough. This is probably the second or third fight I'm the most excited about. Probably the third fight because I'm excited about the main event. I'm excited about Tsarukyan and Alvarez. I'm also kind of excited about Cirkunov-Turman, but I'm probably more excited about this one than Cirkunov-Turman. It's going to be a barn burner. Both guys are young and really tough, good records. I'm with McKinney, but I'm scared. This is going to be a really good fight. It's going to be close, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I mean, I think McKinney's pretty much better everywhere than Ziam. Ziam's just, he's long, he's tall, he uses his length very, very well. But when it comes to power, when it comes to pushing the pace, pushing the pressure, when it comes to grappling, it's all McKinney all day, every single day. And it comes down to whether or not McKinney paces himself, whether or not he gets the first round, finish. He should win this fight, and he should finish Fares Ziam. But what if he doesn't? What if he goes balls to the wall? Then his cardio, you got a cardio dump, which is, it's possible. It happens. But that's the only way I see Ziam winning this fight. I don't think he's going to be able to beat him to the punch. I don't think he's going to be able to out-grapple him. So it comes down to whether or not he's able to weather the early storm and just out-cardio McKinney to the finish. But ultimately, I got McKinney winning this fight. I got him winning inside the distance at plus 175. He can get it done on the feet. He can get it done on the mat. He's the better fighter all around. It just comes down to whether or not he gets the early finish and whether or not his cardio is intact. Hopefully, he's in great shape and he doesn't, get the cardio dump. And if he doesn't, he should win this fight.
I agree. I agree. I'm not as confident as you are because I think it's a good matchup. I think Ziam is really tough, but
We also have to think about, look at Ziam. He should have lost his last 2 fights. He should be 0-3 and cut from the UFC by now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, that is a good point. Yeah,
like he didn't win his last fight, and he definitely didn't beat Jamie Malarkey. So I have no idea how this man's 2-1 when he lost to Malarkey. He definitely lost to Vendramini. So we'll see.
There we go. Well, he's full of Malarkey and he's full of Vendramini. That we know.
All right. We just got 3 more fights for you guys, and then we're out. All right. Last, third to last, we got a fight in, it's actually a catchweight fight, 145 pounds, between Alejandro Perez and Jonathan Martinez. Right now, Martinez minus 275, favoring to come back. Perez is plus 220 underdog. Who do you got?
I just don't know, man. Martinez is a pretty good dude. We've had so many UFC fighters on our MMA Power Hour show that sometimes I'm forgetting if we had someone on or not. There's a lot of good fighters out there. Last name Martinez. So I'm pretty sure we had a couple Martinez fighters as guests, but I don't think it was Jonathan, but it might have been. Anyway, whoop, there goes my phone. Man, oh man, can Florida get sticky? And I'm not even there. I can tell from where you are. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think I want to lay the chalk on Martinez here, although he probably wins. I don't even know his opponent that well. I would say there could be a possibility of an upset here. Maybe go for the dog or pass, but I don't like this fight. I don't know enough about it. I don't know what's going to happen. I know Martinez, I think, should win it. He really wants to win it, but don't know much at all about the other guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident Jonathan Martinez here. I got him earlier in the week at minus 230. He's now all the way to minus 275. Especially now this is at 145 pounds. He just fought 2 fights ago, I believe, at 145 pounds, or 1 fight ago. Either way, this guy has fought at featherweight. Perez has not. Martinez looked like he made weight rather easily. Perez took his time to make 145 pounds. So I think it's more Perez that had an issue with the weight cut more so than Martinez. We'll see what happens there. But I just think Martinez is the better overall fighter. This fight's not going to play out on the mat. Neither fighter is going to attempt takedowns. And I think Martinez is definitely the more technical striker between the two. He's definitely more powerful. He uses his kicks very, very well. He mixes it up very, very well. We saw that in his last fight against Lavishvili. Whatever. Dude's very, very good. He was only 13. He was 13-0 at that time. Defended the takedowns very, very well and really took it to him on the feet. I expect more of the same. I don't think Perez has the firepower to really go punch for punch from Martinez or just to stand there and train the pocket. So I have Martinez here. I think it's a fairly safe play, even at minus 275, to put in your parlays. He's going to get the job done here.
Parlez-vous français is what I say to that.
All right. We got 2 more. We got 2 more left. All right.
I have 9% battery left.
We're going to get through this. All right.
Make it happen.
Moving on in the welterweight division, we have a fight between Ramiz Brahima and Michael Gilmore. Right now, Brahima minus 380. The comeback on Gilmore plus 290. Who do you got?
Wasn't there a show, The Gilmore Girls, when you were a kid?
Yes, there was.
Yeah, the old Gilmore Girls. Maybe that was, maybe they were the sisters of Michael. They just didn't feature him because he was busy training MMA or something. Who the hell knows? But Michael, brother of the Gilmore Girls, Gilmore, and against Ramaj. What is it again?
Ramiz
Brahima. He's a tough guy. I think he's over at Fortis, or is he with
Crowd? Yeah, Fortis.
Yeah, tough guy. Really good guy. He won the Ultimate Fighter, if I'm not mistaken, right? No, that was Krause's guy. Anyway, very tough guy. This is Brahimai's fight, no doubt. He's at 3.5 to 1 favorite. I think this is a really good bet. Put him in your parlays. Put a ribbon on it. Lock it down. Ramez Brahimai for the victory. I think without too much of a question.
Yeah, I think Brahima should get a submission victory here. I think it's His submission prop is -120. It was, plus 100 at one point. I liked it there. Not so much a -120, but he should get it done. Gilmore, he's very defensive lapse in his takedown defense. Not very good there. His last 2 fights were against Gilbert Urbina and Andre Petroski. He got taken down. He got beaten up against Petroski, and he got taken down and submitted, by Urbina. Ramiz, his bread and butter is his takedowns and his submission game. So I expect, Ramiz Brahimaj to get in there, take him down, and get a submission win and get back into the win column rather easily. I mean, I know Gilmore, he's pretty good on the feet, but when it comes to the grappling realm, I think Brahimaj has it all day. And I think this is the reason why he really took this fight on short notice as well.
Yeah. All respect to Michael Gilmore, seriously, though, but I think he's a little bit overmatched here. I will say this, if Gilmore wins, I will name the next dog I adopt Gilmore, if Gilmore can win this fight. Although
all right. I'm gonna hold you to that, by the way.
Right, but I may not be doing that for several years,
Well, we're gonna be friends for several years, so yes, I will not let you hold that down.
No, the next dog will be named Gilmore if Michael Gilmore wins tomorrow night. That's
all right. We're finally up to our last fight on the prelims, not on the main card. On the prelims, we have a fight in the flyweight division between Carlos Hernandez and Victor Altamirano, both UFC Contender Series alumni. Right now, Hernandez -145 for him to come back. Altamirano is +125. What do you got?
Altamirano was a guest on my show about a year ago. Really cool dude. I think he was fighting in the LFA then, I believe.
Right.
Really good. I like him. He's a really good dude, man. Victor Altamirano, man. He's the dude can fight. He's a slick striker. He's got some wrestling chops and he's got some grappling. I like the dog here. I like Victor Altamirano. Again, it's so hard to know what he'll do at this level, especially in his first fight. And this is this is at the Apex though, right? No real big crowd here or anything, right? So, but they still have some people the VIP seats. I'm going for Victor here. I'm cheering for Victor. He's a great guy. I think he's got a really good chance here. I would still, though, to be safe, I would say bet maybe a quarter of a unit or a third of a unit.
Yeah, I think the same. I was on Altamirano when he fought, Candelario in his Contender Series fight. Unfortunately, I do think he lost that fight. I'm lucky because I cashed in on him. But, I think Altamirano is definitely the better striker of the two. Hernandez is going to need to and want to take this fight to the mat. Altamirano doesn't have the best takedown defense, so he will get taken down, at some point in this fight. But on the feet, I think it's his fight to lose. He's the much better fighter between the two. He's longer, and I think he just has a lot more tools. So I think it's going to be a very, very close fight. I think it's going to go the distance, and I think ultimately, Altamirano it's going to be more of the same between that fight between him and Candelario. I think, he's going to. I think Hernandez is going to get the takedowns early. I think he's going to fade as the fight goes on. And I think Altamirano eventually, I think he's going to look better as the closing rounds, progress. And I think he eventually gets the fight and wins a unanimous decision. I do really like the fight to go to the distance at -150. That's my favorite bet on that fight.
What's that? The fight goes the distance?
Yeah, the fight goes the distance at -150. That's my favorite. Yep. So that's that's our breakdown.
Here's a question.
What?
If he wins, would you be willing to name your next son Victor Altamirano Kerman?
No.
Man, that was the last try. I thought I might get you on that one.
No, sorry. It's not going to happen.
That's got a ring to it, though, doesn't it? Victor Altamirano Kerman. I can see him with his own MMA podcast. And, Victor Altamirano Kerman here. I'll kill my dad for naming me that, but no, it's a good name. But anyway, good dude. No, good pick as usual. I'm with you, man. I don't think we really had a disagreement strongly on anything tonight, and we usually do.
No, I think we did good. Yeah.
And I think usually when we have not too many disagreements, we usually hit. People usually cash in on a show.
Yeah. I mean, we're on a 4-fight winning streak right now. I just swept Bellator 275 for almost 5 units. So
Nice.
UFC's on tap next, tomorrow night. You're not going to want to miss this shit. Get this money with us. Head over to thefightanalyst.com, get my plays. But I also, if you guys are supporting me, you're also supporting Colin Crandal, please go over to VegasOdds, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's what we're here for. We're here to give you the best content, the best breaking down of fights on the web. But right now on YouTube, we're here to entertain you. We're here to give you fighter analysis. We're here to put money into your pockets. So if we're ordered to do this, or if we're able to do this, we need you to go over to VegasOdds and subscribe right now. So with that said, my man Colin Crandal, before we let you go, where can everybody find you?
MMA Power Hour every Tuesday, the Hannibal TV, the biggest podcast out of Canada, 330,000 subscribers. We're on there. We're on his Facebook and his YouTube, as well as our MMA Power Hour page on Facebook, Dr. Adam Rorta on YouTube, Adam D. Rorta, and then on Facebook. You can always see it on my page too. We're blowing it up. We're not only taking part, we're taking over. Like Conor McGregor would say, but then me with Garrett Kerman, we're part of that takeover. So this is a takeover of these two crazy guys here. We love MMA. We want to help you guys make some money and entertain you. And we hope we're doing a good job. Let us know. And you probably I look better in the dark, so I may have to finish the show here in the dark. But anyway, Garrett, this is awesome, man. It was great to have Jon Fitch here.
Yes.
Really, who would have more knowledge than him, really, as far as the Dagestanis that train at AKA, him having been a huge part of AKA for so long. And he's a sharp dude, and, check out his stuff as well. I like that idea, though, of his organization to get amateur fighters some promotion. Yes. And also to help fighters make more money. So great dude, Fitch. And yeah, man, Garrett Kerman, you're the best. And I will let you wrap it up. This has been awesome as usual. And I think we got this one pegged. We got
absolutely. Yep. Man, thank you so much for coming on, Colin. And thank you so much, Jon Fitch, for joining us, for this podcast. I was looking forward to it. I was super stoked to have such a UFC legend, on the broadcast with us. So I appreciate that. And guys, thank you so much, for being with us, always being here, always supporting us. And we'll see you all next week. We will see you all cashing out at the ticket window. Until next time, we guys have a great night.
Peace.
Goodbye.
See ya.